The Witch Queen, despite only being included in one arc so far, is one of those characters that fans have been yearning for a while now. Sadly, it has been nearly 200 chapters in the manga since we last saw her, or roughly 4 years in our time since we have witnessed any content from her within the manga and the series. While she was seemingly important for only that arc, I believe there will be a lot more importance placed upon her once more. I believe that it is very possible that she has ties to other gods within the series. Now, I'm talking some big name gods, like Odin, the Allfather from Norse mythology. Remember that Black Clover is a series with gods for sure being in it, and Tabata admits to taking from Norse mythology in the guidebook. Then, it makes it very possible that Odin could be a character in the series proper. Now, I'm going to admit that this theory will share similarities to the theory I made over a year and a half ago, but will add a lot more evidence from both Norse mythology and the series of Black Clover itself. But, going through and reading the Witcher's Forest arc again, it really made me think a lot more about this theory and why it needs to be brought up once more with proper attention, because I do believe we will see the Witch Queen in the near future and it will have some huge moments. So I guess I should just drop the ball now and say that I think it is possible that the Witch Queen is the daughter of Odin and Freya, or Frigg. While in some sources Freyas and Frigg are different characters, a lot of scholars believe them to be the same person, but I'll just call her Freya in this because that is like a more popular version. But the reason why I believe this is many reasons. For one, Freya is the biggest influence on witches in the history of witchcraft, like all witchcraft. You have to remember that the Norse pagans used to worship Freya, and then when Christianity took over, they demonized her and the other gods, but she stuck strong, but people were still worshipped her and they were called witches. Even Freya's black cat went from a powerful symbol to that of a symbol of being unlucky and a symbol of witches, and after Christianity took over. A lot of early witchcraft was combining Norse paganism, other pagan religions, with Christianity to use magic. Freya, in Norse mythology, was even stronger than Odin when they first met, but after they married, she taught him many types of magic, including fate and blood magic. Yes, Freya used blood magic, and this is actually how Odin was able to do a blood brother ritual with Loki, so that they magically became actual brothers, despite not being related prior. This is important, since we know that Freya is essentially a witch god, who has blood magic. Of course, she also has powerful curses, which the Witch Queen's blood magic can actually heal or negate powerful curses as well. But it does seem that the Witch Queen has two magic types, her obvious blood magic, and seemingly the power to manipulate birds. Now the reason why I think these might be her actual magic, and not just birds, is because of how they act, swarming Asta, and multiplying out of nowhere, and then the birds actually teleporting her across the forest. We know that her magic is being used across the entire country, which could imply that she also has Monozone, which will be an important point later. But if her magic is always active, this could be why the birds are always active near her all the time. But more so, Odin is known for his ties to birds, especially ravens. So Freya of blood magic and Odin of raven magic could make the Witch Queen of blood and crow magic. Remember, magic genetics in Black Clover work is that you can have just similar types of magic to your parents and family, so she wouldn't exactly need raven magic, it would be close enough. This would also make even more sense to have two magic types because Odin and Freya are not of the same race in the myths, coming from two different tribes of gods. Freya is a Vanir god, and Odin is half Aesir, half Jotun. So if the theory is true, it makes the Witch Queen a hybrid. Perfect because she has two magic types, which is something we know that hybrids can have. They can have two magic types. We also know that the Witch Queen has another type of power. She receives divinations of the future, multiple of which have come true. This is also a power that is shared by Freya, that she also taught to Odin thanks to Satyr magic. The Witch Queen is also aware of fate as an acting concept, and as the main mentor to Vanessa, Vanessa probably learned about the god of fate from her mother, the Witch Queen. This also explains how she has lived for hundreds of years, at least over 500 years since she knew of the elves. Odin and Freya can live for a long time, and then thanks to the meat of poetry can live essentially forever. Old age cannot kill them. So already there's a lot of pieces of evidence that the Witch Queen is the daughter of Odin and Freya. Even further, we know of two daughters from Freya in the myths, Norse and Hersemi. Norse is known for her beauty and her jewelry. The Witch Queen is also known for her beauty, and one of the reasons she was so important in the story is because of her jewelry on her ear, the magic stone. Now you might then question, if she is the daughter of a god, or gods, why wasn't she strong enough to take on Fauna, the fire spirit, and her army, as well as Mars and Ladros and the Diamond Army? Well, I think that in reality, the Witch Queen was lying the entire time about not being able to defeat them by herself, and she did this knowing that it would unlock the fate power from her daughter, Vanessa. This is because in chapter 98, it is actually proven that the power of the Witch Queen is far stronger than the spirit. Remember, the Witch Queen only saw a base fauna and the salamander, and yet was kind of scared, and was scared of the power. Noelle saw third eye fauna, then she saw self-destruct fauna, and then she saw spirit Ladros. She saw the full power of the fire spirit, yet she implies once the Witch Queen actually used her power, the Witch Queen's true power is actually stronger than the spirit, and based on the context, it makes it seem it's much stronger. If she was so much stronger, then even spirit Ladros has such range of crazy level spells, why didn't she just kill everyone opposing her? I think simply, she had a divination that this is how Vanessa would unlock her power, and this still probably isn't close to the Queen's full power, and if she can cast her spell across the entire forest, that reminds me of Laura Pachica and her Mana Zone, and the Queen never ever even used Mana Zone against them, so this shows she's not even using close to her full power still when she fought all of them. This really does show that she was likely massively holding back against everybody in this arc, and that is why it may seem that she is not godly and does not have godly powers. Again, it's only because she has yet to reveal the true spectrum of the amount of power that she possesses. So I'm going to break in this video. I want to say, guys, if you do enjoy, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, all of that. It does mean a lot. So if you're still here, that means you like the video because you're like over halfway through it now. So just drop a like, subscribe, turn notifications. Also, shout out to Polsky Art for another amazing commissioned thumbnail. Really do appreciate it. With that, back to scheduled programming. So this part of the theory has postulated the identity of the Witch Queen and who she really is. And now, I want to attempt to answer the question of the true reason why she wanted Asta's anti-magic. I think the very obvious answer, on a surface level, is simply she wanted Asta's anti-magic because that would make her the most powerful, and it would make the Witch's Forest a much more powerful entity as its own autonomous region. But if you watch the first part of this theory as to who the real villain of Black Clover is on Sunday, then you could maybe guess why she wanted Asta. As in that theory, I say that he might be, and his anti-magic might be, the greatest weapon in the war against the God of Fate. Anti-magic was controlled by the Witch Queen. She controlled him to attack the Fate Cat Rouge with his anti-magic Demon Slayer sword, and Rouge was actually forced to dodge the blow by unraveling itself. Essentially, what this means is that anti-magic could work against the very power of Fate, and if used correctly, could win the war by defeating the God of Fate and preventing the Fate's rule. Essentially, if Fate exists, then there is no free will, so this would be a good villain for Black Clover if the God of Fate. And we know that one exists, but Vanessa has mentioned it. This is why it would actually be important for the God of Fate to be defeated, to get free will, to change society. Fate has been a huge theme in Black Clover and essentially affected every major character, and nearly all these important characters have some sort of gripe with Fate, especially in the Black Bulls, where nearly all of them are outcasts. Fate was bad to them, but in the end, Fate was still kind of good, because now they have each other. That would be like kind of the paradox of Fate, irony of Fate, is Fate tried to screw them over, but in the end, it just created a big happy family. That would be the overall ultimate defeat of Fate in the end, where the Black Bulls team up and take down the God of Fate, which I think what will happen at the end of the series. In the last video, I tried to make you guys envision the power of a God of Fate, and it really is astronomical and hypothetically by far the strongest character in the series. We have seen how powerful Vanessa's singular Fate spell is, and she doesn't even have that high amount of mana. Remember, she has thread magic, not Fate magic. Now imagine if someone had actual Fate magic as their magic type, and that person had the amount of power equal to a god. That's the God of Fate. The power would hypothetically dwarf that of Lucifero, the Gravity Devil, and the devils of space and time. Again, thematically, and when it comes to foreshadowing, the God of Fate becoming the final villain would be one of the best foreshadowed writing moves of all time, as well as a great way to subvert expectations, making Lucifero just a pawn and not the true big bad. So this means that if the Witch Queen is the daughter of Odin, who the gods of Fate have chosen him to die by the fangs of Fenrir at Ragnarok, then her having anti-magic, or possessing a person that can use anti-magic, which can destroy Fate magic, is an incredibly useful thing. This is also probably why she really wanted Vanessa to develop her Fate powers. Maybe, like how even though Longer's spatial magic was stronger than Finral's, because they were both spatial magic, Finral's would still cancel out the offensive spatial magic. And maybe the Witch Queen wanted Vanessa to develop this Fate power, because that would allow her to cancel out some of the moves of the God of Fate. Pair that with anti-magic, and now you have an incredibly decent shot at taking down the true big bad of the series, the God of Fate. One thing that I think is possible that with the Black Bulls resides two of the top three gods of Fate. In Norse mythology, there are a lot of Norns, but the top three are 3 women, 1 young woman, 1 middle-aged woman, and 1 old woman. Now I think Vanessa might turn out to be the middle-aged Norn Vernandi, and Grey the young Norn Urdur. Now you might think that is weird because Vanessa and Grey are technically the same age. But none of these 3 witch gods are actually their age. Even the young child one is easily thousands of years old in the myths. Pair this with the fact that we have never seen Grey's true form, then maybe, just maybe, the Black Bulls have 2 of the fate gods, and the old one will be the mentioned god of fate that is far stronger than the rest of them, whose name is, in the myths, Skuld. Remember, Grey, we have never seen a true form. What if her true form is a young person who just never ages? This would kind of be damning to the theory if that turns out to be true. Now, as for Grey having fate magic, did she go over the scene of Grey saving Gauche? Under the context of her possibly possessing fate magic, the scene makes much more sense. I mean, the sword Dante used was a physical sword he created, not magic, but she somehow dissolved it and then reversed Gauche's wound. Vanessa had thought that Grey closed the wound, but she said no, the spell, and then she didn't finish her sentence. So it actually did something else besides just closing the wound. Did she alter Gauche's fate so he didn't die? And is that why the wound didn't just close? This actually never happened to him, or she reversed it? Fate magic, remember, is arcane. Whatever Grey magic is, it's also arcane. Does that mean it is fate magic? Even Owen said her magic can't just be transformation. It has to be much, much more. Now I'm going to give a shout out to Jack Oates, because he is the first one who mentioned to me about Grey possibly being a Norn as well, or her magic possibly being fate magic, because before that it was thought it was just going to be an advancement of transformation magic, where she could transform physical objects into magic or other things, or it was just some sort of reality warping. But I like the idea of it using a different type of fate, and that is why Vanessa is so shocked about it that Grey just used fate magic. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this video down below. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Hope you guys do enjoy this video. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...